All right, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mike, getting the levels here. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. All right, broadcasting live on a Saturday night right here in the mean streets of Chicago, Illinois. GB's here of Into the Squared Circle podcast, where we talk about all things of professional wrestling. Here we are, man. It is the Demolition Derby style. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lot of car crashes going on in professional wrestling this week. Here we are, man. Where am I? Here we go. Happy Saturday, man. Cheers to you, man. Weekend is here, unless you're working right now. Hope you're getting paid good on the weekend. Cheers to you, man. Oh, yeah, man. It's the weekend, man. Cheers to you. Oh, cheers, man. Happy Saturday. Man, it feels good to drink a nice cold beverage on a Saturday night. Beautiful weekend here in Chicagoland area. Can't bitch about that. Anyway, man, how's everyone doing, man? We're cruising in here through a Saturday. As they talk about here on the show, Demolition Derby week in professional wrestling. Guys are T-boning each other in the parking lot. We got a car doing a flip in AEW land. So lots going on in the world of professional wrestling when it comes to the car crashing and guys beating the crap out of each other. And man, it's been a crazy ass week. Chaos, right? Who doesn't like chaos in professional wrestling? Anyway, if you're watching it the very first time, watching live on Twitch, live on YouTube, and on X, give me a follow and subscribe, my friends, as always. And I highly appreciate you guys supporting the show. As always, give me a follow and subscribe right here on social media. Also available on TikTok as well. So if you're hip, you're cool, you love TikToks, well, I'm on there as well. Into the Square Circle podcast on TikTok and YouTube Shorts as well. Of your brain can only function 2 seconds of videos. There you go. No, I'm such a dick, right? All right, let's move on here. Take the podcast to go, man. Take the podcast to go, man. It's that very simple. If you're on the go, you're on a spring break. Maybe you're on the plane. Maybe you're in the car. You need a podcast to listen to. Into the Square Circle podcast. Give me a follow, subscribe right here on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. All you have to do is type in Into the Squared Circle podcast. That very simple, my friends, and share with your friends as always. And thank you for supporting the show. Scan the QR code right above me, and we'll take you right to the podcast. All right? Very good. All right. Before we get on with the show here, let's come back here really quickly with me. Some very sad news as of yesterday, March 20th of 2026. The wrestling world lost a legend yesterday. And I actually, with my busy schedule, I kind of found out this morning. I'm like, oh, man. So if you haven't heard about the news, last night, March the 20th, the wrestling world lost a legend. Dennis Condrey passed away. And man, that just hit me hard when I found out Dennis Condrey passed away. A legend, dude. Dennis Condrey is a complete legend. And is the Midnight Express. Come on. And then let's talk about Dennis Condrey here really quickly here, man. Just looking through his career here, man, it's incredible. Trained by Joe Turner, debuted back in 1973. Spent the early years wrestling primarily with Nick Goulas at Tennessee-based NWA Mid-America Promotions. Of course, the mid-1975, in the context of the United States Bicentennial, Condrey teamed up with Phil Hickerson to form a tag team known as the Bicentennial Kings, managed by Kangaroo Al Costello. And of course, if you know the history of Dennis Condrey, of course, he eventually teamed up with Al Green to win the NWA World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. Between 1975 and March 1977, they held the NWA Southern Tag Team Champions 3 times, the NWA Southern Tag Team Champions once, and the NWA Mid-American Tag Team Champions twice. They feuded with the teams like Jackie Fargo and Jerry Jarrett, Bill Dundee and Tojo Yamamoto, and Chief Thundercloud and Danny Little Bear. Nice little history here from back in the mid-70s. March 77, upon the scheme between Nuke Goulas and Jerry Jarrett, Dennis Condrey and Phil Hickerson left the NWA Mid-America to join the Jarrett Breakaway Continental Wrestling Association, CWA. From March 1977 to 1979, they held the NWA Mid-America Southern Tag Team Champion. As they remember, they later renamed it AWA Southern Tag Team Champions 4 more times. That's where they feuded with teams like the Gibson brothers, Ricky and Robert Gibson. Come on, legends, Tommy Gilbert and Tommy Rich, baby. And of course, March of 1978, Condrey and Hickerson moved on for the CWA to Knoxville, Tennessee-based Southern Eastern Championship Wrestling, SCW. They won the NWA Southern Tag Team Champions 4 times, defeated with Jimmy Golden and a series of tag team partners. Of course, in December of 78, they left the Southern Weight Championship after losing a loser Lee Town against Ken Lucas and Kevin Sullivan. Of course, December of 1978, Condrey and Hickerson returned to CWA, defeated Bill Dundee and the King himself, Jerry Lawler, to win the AWA Southern Tag Team Champions for the 8th time. Eventually, they lost the belts to Dundee and Coco Ware. And continue on the Dennis Condrey history here. Returned back to the NWA back in March of 79. Defeated Gorgeous George Jr. in Chattanooga, Tennessee to win the NWA Mid-America Heavyweight Championship. He held the title until October 79, which he lost to Dirty Dutch Mantell. Throughout the 1980s, Condrey divided his time between CWA and Georgia Championship Wrestling. In September of 1980, he defeated Steve Kern in the Bell Auditorium in Augusta, Georgia, to win the NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship. He lost the title to Tony Atlas the following month. Now, back in 1980, Condrey formed a tag team with Randy Rhodes. You know that name. If you're a longtime wrestling fan, you know the history. Randy Rhodes. That's where they're known as the Midnight Express, right? We all know the Midnight Express. We know who they are, which we'll get to momentarily. Now, in 1981, Norval Austin joined the form of the stable. Now, from 1981 to December of 83, they wrestled the Southern Eastern Championship Wrestling and the Continental Wrestling Association. The stable was dissolved in December of 1983 when Dennis Condrey left for Mid-South Wrestling. Now, that's where Dennis Condrey showed up in Mid-South Wrestling, where he immediately formed a new version of the Midnight Express with Bobby Eaton, of course, one of the greats. I love him. You may hate him, you may love him, but Jim Cornette as manager. As first, the Midnight Express was booked as an angle with the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Magnum TA, and Mr. Wrestling 2. The highlight was the angle saw Eaton and Condrey tearing and feathering Magnum TA in the middle of the ring. The Express first won the tag team titles when Mr. Wrestling 2 turned on Magnum TA, attacked them during the title match, which allowing Eaton and Condrey to win the title without much opposition, of course. And of course, eventually, Bobby Eaton, Condrey, and Cornette left the Mid-South back in December of 84. And eventually, all three guys joined World Class Championship Wrestling back in 84, all the way up to 85. Of course, they began their feud with the Fantastic, which is Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. Who else is on there, man? The second Von Erichs, Memorial Break, Texas Stadium back in 85, which is a big, massive show. Eventually, they left WCCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, June of 85, and they went to join Jim Crockett Promotions back in 85 throughout 87 on the Superstation on TBS, Jim Crockett Promotions. In November of 85, a Starrcade 85, The Gathering, the Midnight Express lost to Jimmy Valiant and Miss Atlanta Lively in a street fight, of course. In November of 85, the Midnight Express reunited the feud with the Rock and Roll Express, for the NWA World Tag Team Championship, the Mid-Atlantic version, by the way. Back in February of 86, during Superstars on the Superstation. And eventually, Eaton Condrey also had a long-running feud with the New Breeds, Chris Champion and Sean Royal, as well with the Road Warriors, man. Road Warriors, Animal, and Hawk. Of course, the famous scaffold match back in Starrcade 86, the Skywalkers in November of 86, in which the Midnight Express lost. Dennis Condrey left Jim Crockett Promotions early of 87, which he left overnight, giving no notice to Jim Cornette, Eaton, or the NWA. Eventually, Dennis Condrey would reunite with his partner Randy Rose in the AWA under the manager of Paul E. Dangerously, right? Everyone know that guy, Paul Heyman. Loverboy Dennis and Ravishing Randy called himself the Midnight Express, claimed the right to the name, which they've been used by Condrey and Eaton. Later, beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane in the NWA, which they end up defeating Jerry Lawler and Bill and Don D for the AWA World Tag Team titles on October 30th, 87 in Whitewater, Wisconsin, which they'll be having a 2-month reign, losing, and the titles to the returning Midnight Rockers, which was, again, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, back on December 27th of 1987 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Eventually, Dennis Condrey will end up going back to the NWA back in 88 throughout 89, of course, alongside with Randy Rhodes and Paul E. Dangerously, now call himself the original Midnight Express with Dennis Condrey, as I mentioned. Eventually, during the November 5th episode of the WCW Wrestling, Jim Cornette received an ominous phone call. The caller ridiculed Cornette over Eaton and Lane's loss for the NWA Tag Team titles to the Road Warriors back on October 29th. And Paul E. and the original Midnight Express with Dennis Condrey hit the ring to proceed and pummeled Cornette and Stan Lane, who was wrestling in a singles match. By the time Bobby Eaton showed up, it was a 3-on-1. Cornette showed up the next week on TBS carrying a blood-stained suit jacket, and the feud was on. Come on, man. That's some legend shit right there, man. The team wrestled Starrcade 88, but it was nothing was solved. The Midnights versus the Midnights, which was the hottest feud in the NWA for months, building up for a 6-man tag match involving the managers at the Chi-Town Rumble right here in Chicago, baby, which was featured on the WWE. At one point, it was on the WWE network of that show, and I watched a little bit, and now, again, they got rid of all the archives. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or not, but if it's on her, check it out, man. It's good shit. So there's that. Eventually, Dennis Condrey moved on to the CWA, or I'm sorry, the CWF, Continental Wrestling Federation, and the ICW, International Championship Wrestling from 89 to 90. Condrey eventually came back to team up with Bobby Eaton back in 2004, alongside with Stan Lane in the Midnight Express and Independence, feuding with the Rock and Roll Express and the Fantastics. He signed with the WWE back in March of 2010 as a developmental trainer, and he was assigned to the Florida Championship Wrestling and worked with rookies and NXT rosters. Eventually, Dennis Condrey retired back in 2011 after wrestling his last match on October 15th against Bill Mulkey at the AWE Nights of Legend. And as I mentioned, Dennis Condrey passed away March 20th of 2026 at the age of 74. So, again, I got to send my condolences out to the family, of course, his cohorts, man, Jim Cornette and everyone out there. My condolences out to everyone, to all the fans out there who's been following the career of Dennis Condrey, who probably was there back in the 80s to witness him, maybe the 70s. Again, send my condolences to everyone out there. Rest in power, Dennis Condrey. We're going to love you. We're going to miss you. Crank some Midnight Express throughout the night, every day, not just tonight, every day, man. Pay homage to him and the rest of the guys who are no longer with us in the Midnight Express as well, man. Again, sad news coming out this past 24 hours. Dennis Condrey passed away March the 20th of 2026. Again, we're going to miss you, Dennis Condrey. Rest in peace. All right, man. So we're going to come back here really quickly here and switch gears here. We're going to head on over to what's going on throughout the week in professional wrestling, man. And chaos, man. It's been chaos in the world of professional wrestling. From Monday Night Raw to AEW Dynamite to Friday Night SmackDown. That was pretty wild yesterday, man. You know, there was some stuff I kind of, I'm going to skip SmackDown certain parts, but there's some stuff that got me on my edge, man. It got me on my edge of my toes here, man. So let's kind of plow through this week. Chaos, Demolition style, of course. And let's get into Monday Night Raw, man. What's some things you guys enjoyed from Monday Night Raw this past Monday on Netflix? There's some things I kind of point out that I actually enjoyed. So, Monkey's the truck, the damn files, guys. And what we're going to talk about on Monday Night Raw about the intro. Wild. Take a look at this photo, man. That is, come on, courtesy of WWE.com. Oh, man. Brock Lesnar is getting some air, man. He's like Mike, baby. He is up there, baby. By God. Oh, man. Name a guy who can lift Brock Lesnar and make his mouth open midair. And wham. Name a guy who can powerbomb his ass. Not a single damn person, but one man did this past Monday. And he made Michael Cole say, holy shit, on television. Oba Femi. Now, there's been a lot of talks, man. Yeah, we seen the internal sheet at WrestleMania. They're going to have a match. I don't give a shit. I'm going to let the fine folks in the WWE program lay it down on the line on television. That's where I give a shit, right? I don't care. 6 months ago, I look at the internal card. It was, it was on the table in catering, and someone left it out there. And here's the 5 matches. I don't care. I care when it's on the road to WrestleMania, which is right now. And this is where it matters. This is where it gets fun. I love putting the puzzle pieces together as a fan and figure out what the hell they're going to do. Now, this is not a massive jigsaw puzzle because it's not tricky like last year's WrestleMania. But after all the chatter, we got some movement going on between an official WrestleMania match between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. That's incredible. That's going to be some meat. It's fucking people when he's slapping. Anyway, let's get into it, baby. Seth Rollins and his fucking goons fucking running around in their mask. Which one are Seth Rollins? Bullshit, right? And then, of course, Paul Heyman came out. Paul Heyman looks like shit. It looked like he just sniffed crack in the bathroom. A guy looked like he haven't slept in 10 days. And Paul Heyman came out, and he's just like, hey, if you want to hit me in the back with a chair last week on Raw, well, F-A-F-O. No, it's not the Flight Commission. F-A-F-O, F-A-F-5. And now comes Brock Lesnar. And fans thought, well, shit, man, Brock Lesnar's going to lay Seth Rollins on his ass in the middle of the ring. And of course, Seth Rollins, goons, wherever the hell you want to call them, the masked men, eventually they got eaten alive by Brock Lesnar. Fucking man. Well, man, he's just whipping these guys around like they're candy, man. And eventually, it was Brock and Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring. Next thing you know, you hear the music play, and out comes Oba Femi. Strutting down the aisle, style and profiling. Out comes Oba Femi. Hey, what's going to happen? Well, we saw what happened. Look at that photo right there, courtesy of WWE.com. He left Brock Lesnar's ass high up in the sky. Whammo! Planted his ass in the middle of the ring. I saw Brock Lesnar requesting his leg to put on his chest, make him look like a king, like a superior ruler. Oba Femi taking out the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Huh? Ain't that a bitch, huh? We got finally someone out there who's a man enough, who got balls, who has the power, has the strength, who could possibly dethrone Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Huh? Not a bad idea, huh? So, hey, man. Hey, I got my money on this. Where's Kashi, the app? Put my money on it. Obafemi, he's my pick, baby. He is my. That's where I'm going to put all my chips of money on at WrestleMania. Whoo, boy. Yeah, that was a badass moment. Boy, Obafemi, man. This after Monday Night Raw, this guy's a fucking star. If he ain't a star coming out this past Monday, something's wrong. Something is completely wrong if Obafemi doesn't come out as a big badass star. And that moment right there, that 10-second moment, man, that's it. That's it right there, man. I'm excited for Obo, man. I'm a big fan of his. I continue to love his shit all the time, man. He's impressive looking, despite that goofy ass walk down the ring. But when he gets in that ring, man, he don't fuck around. I like him. I like Obafemi. Anyway, I enjoy that on Monday Night Raw. Do you agree? Don't lie to me. I know you loved it. I guarantee it. All right. What else happened on Monday Night Raw that caught my attention? Maybe it caught your attention as well. Of Monday Night Raw. My boy, Chicago's very own CM Punk. Yeah. And put the fingers up, not the middle fingers. The man himself, the OTC, Roman Reigns. They had another face-to-face confrontation in the middle of the ring this past Monday on Monday Night Raw. Huh? Yeah, things got a little spicy here, man. They got a little bit of spicy here. And, you know what, man? I don't know. You tell me. All right, you tell me. And everyone, this has been a big discussion this past week. Now, CM Punk told Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago, I'm going to bury you next to your father. Oh, man, that's not nice. Oh, dude, come on. That is rude. That is mean. Damn it. My books, that is mean. But you have Roman Reigns hopping on Monday Night Raw this past Monday, calling CM Punk old. You are old. Now you're crossing the line, buddy. And guess what happened? CM Punk pie-faced Roman Reigns. He never call someone old. That's really offensive right now. You hurt my heart. If someone came up to me, hey, you old man, what did you just call me? Get your ass over here. I whooped their ass, man. Now I get it, man. It's a time tradition for wrestling. Again, I'm not a wrestler. I'm a dipshit in my basement. Hey, I'm a dipshit. I don't know anything. I'm not a know-it-all. And from hearing other wrestlers and other podcasts talking about, secret land. You call another guy old, you're going to get your ass beat. And I kind of look at that perspective. Okay, all right, I get it. And when I watched this live on Raw this past Monday, I'm like, that's it? You call me old, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you? That's it? Like, fuck you and your wife, I'm going to beat your ass up, and I'm going to take your wife and I'm going to take off with her and hop on the jet and go to Paris. Like, just fucking something really, fucking mean. But no, you are old. I don't know. I don't know how to take it. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Was that offensive? Will you slap the shit out of somebody if they called you old? I don't know. That's what CM Punk did. That's what happened. He put Roman Reigns on the floor. And, yeah, man. Things are a little spicy. Spicy. Where's Curry, man, when you need him? I don't know, man. What's your thoughts about it? Are you enjoying this build so far between Punk and Roman? I mean, they're the big guy. They're the biggest stars in the WWE right now. This is main event status right here for WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like a main event worthy builder. And I know we're still a few more weeks away from WrestleMania. It could still get an intense, right? Things could get changed on a dime, just like that. Anything could happen. It's WWE. It's the land of professional wrestling. It is the road to WrestleMania. Anything could happen. So far, what's your thoughts on this build as of right now? Okay, where we're standing at right now. Is it good? Is it bad? Are you looking forward to this match between Roman and Punk at WrestleMania? Does this match make you want to buy a ticket to WrestleMania? Does this match make you want to turn on WrestleMania on your television? Your thoughts, your opinions, man. It's not my opinion. It's yours as well. All right. What else happened? Anything good happen on Raw? Well, it's great to see Danhausen on Raw and SmackDown. Good shit. Seeing people starting to like him now. Huh? Who is this guy? Why? That's the gobbledygooker. Shut up. I love Danhausen, man. He is fantastic. All right. So now switching over, what's going to happen? What else is crazy happened? Demolition Derby style, huh? Well, let's move on over to, let me check my list here. Okay, we got my shit covered for Raw. Let's move on over to AEW Dynamite. Oh, boy. Now, speaking of car crashes, if you want to kick off the week with a little bit of car crashing, leave it to the man himself, Darby Allin. If you don't watch AEW, you're watching this right now. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Well, right there on your far right on the screen, you see Darby Allin exiting from the car driver's side. The guy that's hanging out in the back of the truck, that's Gabe Kidd. You're asking, gee, why is he hanging out the back of the trunk? Why is Darby Allin crawling out of the car? Well, this match was intended to be a coffin match, all right? A coffin match in Fresno, California, between Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin. And instead of walking down the ring and having a coffin match, these guys decide they want to meet up in the parking lot. Yo, meet me up in the parking lot at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, where the fuck they're at. No, Western Time. So they meet each other up in the parking lot. They start beating the shit out of each other. Eventually, Darby Allin has some kind of kerosene or some kind of thing on a rag. He put on Gabe Kidd's mouth. He made Gabe Kidd pass out. Darby Allin puts Gabe Kidd in the back of the trunk, shut the door. He puts the car in reverse. He start revving up the car. And there's a dumpster. There's a makeshift ramp on the dumpster. Darby Allin hits the ramp. That car flips upside down, as you see in that picture, with Gabe Kidd in the back of the trunk. All right. And it reminds you, still have a coffin match happening. This is happening in the parking lot. Why they want to do this? Why did they want to put Gabe Kidd in the car and flip the car in the parking lot before the match? I don't know why. What's the purpose of it? These guys are batshit crazy. Eventually, Darby Allin puts Gabe Kidd on the road case, and they end up rolling his ass into the arena. And that's where they came rolling out to the ring. And ding, ding, ding. It's a coffin match. I don't know. I mean, if you had a wrestling match, I'm asking you guys, if I challenge you, right, Joe Bob that's watching live stream right now, if I challenge you to a coffin match, okay, let's break down the match, right? All right, you go first, coming on your entrance, you come on the crowd, flex, and then I will come out next and flex, and then ding, 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 we'll have a match, right? That sounds like, okay, let's get this coffin match on the roll here. But maybe they have a different plan. Hey, let's go on the parking lot. I'm going to stuff you in the trunk, and then I'm going to, I'm going to drive this car on a ramp and try to flip it. And then we'll have our match afterwards. You got yourself a deal? Yeah, that's a great plan. Huh? I don't know. Again, I'm just a dipshit. I'm not a wrestler. I don't know. Is that a great idea to crash a car with your opponent in the trunk? Oh, it's your match. Would you do that? I wouldn't. Would I get in the trunk for anything? Now, if they gave me $1 million, maybe I'll hop in the trunk. Just don't flip the car. I want to be alive to enjoy the $1 million. Anyway, now let's go back to the match. So they went back to the ring. We had a coffin match here. These guys had a what do you call those? The white suit. They put you in the crazy house, a straight jacket. They had chains and all that shit out there. Eventually, both of these guys went to war. They went at it. And long story short, Darby Allin managed to put Gabe Kidd right into the coffin. By the way, this coffin was not an ordinary coffin. It's not your typical funeral coffin or a hearse. It was a big, giant wooden box with a hole on the top of it. Now, what's the hole doing on the lid? Well, use your imagination what you could do with it, especially for the guys. I don't know, man. They chose a wooden crate coffin. I don't know. Again, I don't make the rules. I'm just a dipshit in my basement talking about it. So, yeah, again, chaos. Chaos, damn it. Car crash and chaos. That's the way they do it in AEW. Hey, speaking of chaos, move on here. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland. Toe-to-toe with Kenny Omega. Right? Who's going to... it was at... Swerve Strickland has the number one contenders for the AEW World Champion, right? He defeated Brody King at Revolution this past weekend. And Swerve Strickland has the number one contender. Well, I guess Kenny Omega wants to come after Swerve for the number one contender. And Swerve was like, okay, if you want to come after me for the number one contender, you're just going to have to hand up your EVP status, your executive vice president role. You got to put that on the line because of if you want to face me for the number one contenders match, man, you're going to hand that role over to me and I take control of the power, or go fuck off. Those are your two options. So we'll have to wait and see if Kenny Omega, or maybe he did, I can't remember, but Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, EVP power ship versus the number one contenders title shot in the near future. So something interesting. I've never seen something like that before for a number one contendership. It's going to happen, I guess. Oh, Kenny Omega, potential number one contender in the future? Maybe. Because Swerve surpass and become an EV. Who knows, man? But anyway, Sir Strickland laying down the line, laying down the challenge, and making his rules his way for the number one contenders title match somewhere down the line. Hey, speaking of a championship matches, man, the AEW Dynamite. We got a tag team match all lined up for AEW's Dynasty, which is the next pay-per-view, which I was wrong. I thought it was Double or Nothing. It is Dynasty, which is in British Columbia, Canada. Coming up next in April the 12th, I believe, right around WrestleMania time. So we got a lot of wrestling coming up next month in April. So let's take a look at the graphic here, courtesy of AEW.com. Here's the match booked for Dynasty, courtesy of AEW.com. FTR is going to put their tag team titles on the line against Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Cage and Cope, AEW Dynasty, April 12th, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, for the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Of course, they closed out Dynamite this past Wednesday with a face-to-face confrontation with the Young Bucks. Now, of course, the Young Bucks lost their chance to win the titles. They still want to come back and get it, right? We're not losers. We're going to come back, and we want them. And of course, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage came out, and they're like, hey, we respect you guys. We give you all the rosers, give you all the props of who you guys are, but you guys have to get back in the line, right? This is our chance to get the AEW World Tag Team Champions. See right there on that photo, courtesy of AEW.com. And they made it very clear to the Young Bucks that, hey, man, this is our time. This is our moment. This is our championship opportunity. We have Dynasty April 12th, and that's our opportunity. And they had a nice little tug and pull in the middle of the ring between the Bucks and Copeland and Cage. And, the Young Bucks really want those titles back. But, well, you're just going to have to wait. You're just going to have to wait, my friends. You're just going to have to wait because Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, a hot date against FTR for the tag team titles, April 12th, British Columbia, AEW Dynasty Live on pay-per-view. So, there we go, man. Things are locked and loaded, tag team style. Dynasty, April 12th, next month. All right, now let's move on over to Friday Night SmackDown. All right, what we're going to choose. Let's talk about Chaos. Let's go back to the car crashes, the Demolition Derby. The Derby moves on to Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, in the parking lot at SmackDown, a nice fine ass of Drew McIntyre you see right there, courtesy of WWE.com, pulling Jacob Fatu out of the the front window of a car. And it's hard to tell in this car, but Drew McIntyre allegedly T-boned Jacob Fatu, which caused a car crash. All the windows are busted. You can see the big dent on the side of the driver's door. And Drew McIntyre managed to pull Jacob Fatu through the front window, all busted up. Now, I don't see an airbag. I don't see a seatbelt all jacked up. I don't see Jacob Fatu unconscious. So I don't know. Is that really a car crash? I mean, what I'll say, knock on wood, I've never been in a serious car crash. I've been to a couple fender benders. Well, okay, pay attention, motherfucker. I've been in few fender benders. Man, they're fucking neck jerkers sometimes. And look, man, and knock on wood, I've never been through a T-bone serious car crash in the middle of an intersection. I hope I don't ever. And I hope nobody does. But you'd think it'd be a little bit more serious, right? Jacob Fatu just laying there with his head down, fake blood, and I don't know. Anyway, Drew McIntyre managed to pull him out, and these guys are beating the shit out of each other, right? You got 500 guys rolling out there trying to stop them. Eventually, later on the night, they were fighting backstage, and of course, they continue on towards the end of the night, which we'll talk about it momentarily. So, Chaos, car crash, Demolition Derby, Friday Night SmackDown, Chaos. Who doesn't like chaos in wrestling, right? Right. All right. Friday Night SmackDown chaos still continues. Damian Priest. I got too much crap on here, man. Let me remove some stuff here really quickly here so I can put some mo photos on here. So what happened on SmackDown? Damian Priest, Drew, R-Truth. See, my brain goes in different directions when you're looking at stuff here. Okay, so yeah, Damian Priest, almost a Judas Priest. Like, when they become wrestlers. Damian Priest, R-Truth, new tag team champions. How about that? Right? We finally got something going with R-Truth. It took them a couple months to figure out what the hell they're going to do with them. We got something here. What's amazing about this match was R-Truth doing some kick-ass moves. He did what? The John Cena's attitude adjustment or something like that. And I don't know if Damian Priest, was he aware of he was going to win the titles or not? To me, it seemed like Damian Priest was out of the loop of who's going to win the champion. And when R-Truth won the title, Damian Priest had the legit surprise happy face. Like, after seeing his face, he seemed legit surprised, like, holy shit, we're world tag team champions. Like, did Triple H kept this like quiet between both guys? And hey, R-Truth, go out there, do not tell Damian Priest the finish, and get the pin and have a legit surprise for Damian Priest. Like, I don't know, man. I think after that ending of the match, just that big ass grin and that surprise face and the happiness, he's like, oh my God, we're the tag team champions. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of noticed those small things. Like he seemed like legit surprised and he was not aware of the of this the finish, right? And hey, God bless them. They're the new tag team champions. Good for them. I'm happy for Damian Priest. I'm happy for R-Truth. Congrats to both guys. New world tag team champions, man. That is awesome. And yeah, man. Hopefully they go to WrestleMania as tag team champions all the way, right? Got to go all the way. So pretty damn cool. Speaking of pretty damn cool, Randy Orton, that son of a bitch, man, double crossing the fans again. What's wrong with him? Well, what's wrong with him? Well, guess what? Look at this photo, courtesy of WWE.com. Man, a straight up field goal right between Matt Katona. Well, after no nuts, it could be Matt Katona. Matt Cardona's well, he got no mas huevos between his legs. And hopefully his wife is not planning anything special last night because whoo, boy, they probably went right up the throat after getting kicked in the nuts, damn it. Yeah, better. He smashed his hands, so he can't do anything else with his wife later on with those hands. God damn it, Randy Orton, man. If you watch SmackDown, you saw Randy Orton slap the piss out of Matt Cardona backstage. Of course, Matt Cardona stopped Randy Orton. He's like, yo, man, why would you hurt my boy, Cody Rhodes? I respect you. We're all bros. We're all buddies. What the fuck, man? Why would you attack Cody Rhodes last week on SmackDown? Randy Orton was like, look, man, just mind your damn business. Pow! Slapped the shit out of him. Just stay out of my goddamn business. That's what he said. And then Big Boy Jelly Roll rolling around backstage, right? Hey, bro. Hey. What happened to the Randy Orton, the father? The husband, the good guy, right? The happy guy. What happened to that guy? Right? And of course, Randy Orton made it very clear in the ring. He told the reason why he did what he did, right? He was happy to shake the baby, sign the babies, hold the babies, fucking love the wives, and, hand out candy and be a great guy. But sometimes being happy feels empty inside. And that's what he did. He's coming for the world champion because he has voices. I got voices in my head. I think I'm ready for American Idol, folks. I think I'm ready. Anyway, Randy Orton, man, got some demons going on the old cranium up here. Or maybe somebody's talking to him throughout the old ear canal on the phone here, somewhere up higher. And anyway, Jelly Roll told Randy Orton, like, you better go out there and apologize to Matt Cardona after slapping the piss out of him backstage. So Randy Orton calls out Matt Cardona towards the end of SmackDown. Hey, man, come on out. I just want to say something to you. All right. Out comes Matt Cardona. And, of course, typical Randy Orton. Hey, man, I apologize for doing what I did. Give me a hug. He gave him a hug. They shook hands. Randy Orton stepped away a little bit and then fucking kicked him right in the balls. Fans are like, oh, boo. Oh, hold on. That's what they said. Hold on. Did fans sound like that on SmackDown yesterday, or did they really sound like this? No. Oh, what the hell? I don't hear nothing. Anyway, freaking production. Anyway, Randy Orton double cross his ass. Eventually, he was ready to smash the brains of Matt Cardona between the steel steps like he did to Cody. And of course, he had like 200 guys from backstage rolling down to the ringside. Like, hey, stop what you're doing. You ain't doing it this time, pal. So you got 200 guys trying to stop Randy Orton. Eventually, Matt Cardona managed to roll into the ring with a bunch of the 200 guys who came in the ring with him. And eventually, Randy Orton got in the ring, starts jumping the shit out of him. And again, you have 200 guys stopping Randy Orton. And eventually, he managed to get a steel chair around the arm of Matt Cardona. And as I mentioned, you have 200 guys all around Randy Orton. And there's a big-ass gap, a little pathway for Randy Orton to run through and smash the hand of Matt Cardona. Now, this was real life, and you're trying to block a guy from beating the shit of another guy. You think you blocked the whole goddamn perimeter? Block the whole damn thing so you won't let him go through? It's pretty obvious he was going to come out there, smash him, because there's a big-ass fucking gap, dude. It's like the NFL, a very bad defense with a good-ass offense, just fucking running the ball right through that gateway, man, a little path. And I'm like, okay, this guy's going to somehow manage to walk through all 200 guys who are trying to stop him and stomp the shit out of Matt Cardona's hand, which that's what he did. He had a steel chair on his arm, and Randy Orton came by, curve stomp his ass, whammo. Smashed the head of Matt Cardona. Screaming his mind out. Randy Orton, very bad man, a wanted man. And, we'll have to wait and see how Cody Rhodes will respond. Hopefully next week on SmackDown. Or unless he decided to show up on Raw. Anyway, chaos in professional wrestling. All right, move on next here. By the way, cheers to you on a Saturday night. All right. Trying to finish off my Guinness St. Patrick's beer here, man. I gotta get it out of my fridge. All right. Speaking of chaos, go back to the very beginning. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. They close out Friday Night SmackDown. Remember, they were in the parking lot, beating the shit out of each other. They were backstage, beating the shit out of each other. I think they were out in the ring. And now, all of a sudden, these guys are on the other side of the fence you see right here on the photo. They're on some fucking building on a platform, beating the shit out of each other. And then both of them fell off the platform. Who knows where they went to? Maybe they went through a Mario tunnel. Maybe they went through the straight to gates of hell. Maybe they went through a pool. Maybe there is a big padding out there. Maybe they just landed right into a limo and they took off. Who knows where they went to? But all we saw was we got Tim the Two-Man Taylor's neighbor. What's his name? Heidi Ho neighbor looking over to the fence, and you see Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu fall into obscurity, and SmackDown goes off in the air. Yeah, just like that. SmackDown went off in the air. So Matt Cardona gets kicks to the nuts. He breaks his arm from Randy Orton. And then Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre falls off this platform, and we never see him again. And all these 200 guys, including all this, oh my God, oh. And SmackDown goes off the air. All right. Okay. This is how we end SmackDown. Chaos. Demolition. Hope Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu is okay. Anyway, man, chaos and professional wrestling. You gotta love pro wrestling, right? You never know what you're gonna expect, man. I'm afraid of what next week's gonna be. God damn, man. I'm excited for next week. What's some stupid shit they're gonna have next week? Anyway, there we go. Chaos, demolition, psycho, in the world of professional wrestling. All right, let's come back to me here. Let's get rid of this shit here. Let's move on. And damn near closing 50 minutes here. Thank you very much for watching. If you're a first-time viewer right here on the show, give me a follow and subscribe on YouTube, X, on Twitch as well, into the Square Circle Podcast. Give me a follow and subscribe on social media. Also on TikTok as well, Instagram. You know the drill, right? Take the podcast to go right above me. Scan the QR code. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Into the Squared Circle Podcast. Check it out today. Check out my second podcast, a Lesson and Headbanging Podcast, where I talk about all things rock hard, rock and heavy metal. About to do my tribute on Phil Campbell, who passed away last weekend. Phil Campbell, the guitarist from Motorhead, rest in peace. And I'm going to do a tribute podcast. I'm going to try to do that tonight. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, wherever you may be watching. Enjoy the weather if you have great weather. And if not, well, hope you see your happy asses here next weekend as we report for the other crazy ass week in the world of professional wrestling, right? On the road to WrestleMania, on the road to AEW Dynasty. All right, that is it, my friends. Be safe out there. Happy Saturday. Happy wrestling. Talk to you guys next time. Horns up. Be safe. And bye-bye, everybody.